I thank the Speaker, and I thank my friend, the Chairwoman of the full committee, and my friend, Mr. Keller from Pennsylvania, for their strong support for righting a wrong. Federal firefighters and law enforcement officers put their lives on the line every day. For us, America depends on brave men and women to serve in these demanding, arduous, and hazardous duty positions. These individuals face the very real daily potential that on-the-job injury could leave them disabled and unable to return to their previous service. Given the hazardous nature of the job required of federal first responders, Congress recognized that risk and created an accelerated retirement system for these positions and established a mandatory retirement age of 57. Referred to as C6 for the section of the law in which this system was created, federal first responders are qualified for an annuity after serving 20 years and reaching the age of 50. They pay a greater percentage of their salaries into this retirement system, and their annuity amount is calculated at a higher rate than other federal employees, recognizing the risks they take. Unfortunately, not all federal first responders can complete those 20 years of service. In cases where federal first responders become injured and are no longer able to complete the essential functions of their jobs, they can be placed in civil service positions that don't qualify for 6C benefits. Any federal first responder transferred to the FERS retirement system loses their eligibility to retire after 20 years of service, no matter how many years they've got in the system or how much they've paid into it. Additionally, the employee is not reimbursed for the higher contributions required of them to be in the 6C system. The years of service are credited as if the federal first responder who's injured had been in the normal 30-year retirement system for the federal employees. The First Responder Fair Retire Act offers a correction to current law and rights this wrong, authorizing federal first responders to stay in 6C retirement if they're placed in a position outside of that system after returning to work from a duty-related injury. The bill also allows those employees to receive a refund of their accelerated contributions should they be separated from service. The First Responder Fair Retire Act allows the federal government to uphold the retirement promise it made to its first responders. These first responders are Capitol Police officers, Secret Service agents, and other federal law enforcement officers and firefighters across numerous federal agencies. For example, Bob Beckley was a smoke jumper out west with the U.S. Forest Service. He parachuted out of a plane in 1985, and he landed in a tree in the Selway Bitterroot Wilderness area in Idaho, trying to stop a blaze. The tree's branches broke, dropping Mr. Beckley 80 feet and breaking his back in 5 places. He died twice before he could be revived and evacuated. After, thank God, his recovery, Mr. Beckley, 10 years into his firefighting career, chose to work for the Forest Service in another position. But the reward for his bravery and his injury and his service was his removal from the 6C retirement system. He watched his firefighter brothers and sisters retire with full benefits at the 20-year mark that he no longer qualified for. I want to also highlight the story of Justin Moore, U.S. Capitol Police officer right here in the U.S. Capitol. He was severely injured by being beaten right here in this Capitol on January 6th. I heard firsthand from Justin and his colleagues about their heroism defending each and every one of us from a violent mob. Justin was beaten from behind with a blunt object, suffering severe concussions and contusions and several crushed vertebrae in his neck. In just a few weeks, Justin will undergo what is likely career-ending surgery. He may no longer be physically able to perform his law enforcement duties. 17 years into his career, Justin, a veteran and father of 3, will lose the retirement benefits he's paid into when he's reassigned to a civilian position just 3 short years short of qualifying. We want to incentivize our first responders to continue their service to this nation. We shouldn't punish them for injuries they sustained protecting us. And we should reward their actions with continued inclusion in the retirement system they signed up for at the start of their service. This bill is endorsed by the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, the National Fraternal Order of Police, the National Federation of Federal Employees, the International Association of Firefighters, the National Association of Police Organizations, the National Treasury Employees Union, and the Senior Executive Association. I want to thank our 22 bipartisan co-sponsors, in particular my original co-sponsors, Brian Fitzpatrick and James Langevin. And I thank the chairwoman for her leadership and her support on this important endeavor. And I yield back my time to the chairwoman.